Welcome to the VWell Podcast, real conversations with our experts about our mission to revolutionize wellness in body, mind, and soul. Thanks for joining us. Hello and welcome to the VWell Podcast, where I am delighted to interview one of my favorite wellness experts, the sensational Bergen Wheeler. Welcome, Bergen. It is so great to talk to you today.
Thank you so much for having me, Edward. I'm super thrilled to be here.
So let's first talk about what wellness modalities do you share with the world?
Oh gosh, the wellness modalities that I share are barre, cardio, wild and crazy HIIT, a little flair of kickboxing, and I'm in development right now with two new innovations, two new modalities. I'm trying to tap back into my professional dance world. So I'm creating some sort of gorgeous dance class, and also a strength-based class. So kind of the gamut.
That is a lot.
Yeah, it is. It's quite a lot, but it keeps me on my toes and it keeps me from growing bored.
Well, let's step back 1 second. Most people will know, but sometimes, can you give me a brief definition of what barre is and also what HIIT is?
Sure. Barre is a full body, comprehensive, mostly an hour-long class. It is a derivative of Pilates, of yoga, of a little bit of strength training. And it was created by a woman that needed to rehabilitate herself. She had an injury while dancing, and she put all these methods together. And that was the birth of barre.
And HIIT?
HIIT, high intensity interval training. It sort of caught fire in the scene around, I would say 2015, when it was really hot, and it's just stayed. It's just a really wonderful, comprehensive workout. It's short, it's fast, it's hard, high intensity. It's based on functional moves, functional fitness, compound exercises. So you're going to be working your legs and your upper body at the same time, usually done with some weights, but also can be done just body weight. And it changes bodies quickly.
Everything you do does that, having taken your classes in many modalities. So tell me, how did your wellness journey begin?
I was dancing professionally in New York. And I will never forget the moment that I knew that my wellness journey was, it became very clear. I was backstage, I was a soloist, getting ready to go on. And I'd been teaching some fitness just for sort of New York City survival. And, as you know, professional dancing doesn't really pay much. So my director looked at me in the face and she said, "Isn't it so wonderful that you get the chance to be so selfish out there on stage?" And I had been toying with, what to do with my dancing because I was feeling a little burnout and also just wasn't really it. And that was the pivotal moment that my wellness journey sort of went full force, like full spotlight, if you will. And I devoted myself to fitness and changing human beings' lives, mindsets, bodies. It's just such a powerful medium. And I love working with people and I love teaching. And that's how it sort of bloomed.
What's been the biggest influence, or who or what, in terms of your path?
Oh my gosh. I guess what's been lovely about this is the fitness world and the teaching sort of over time, I fell in love with it even more. And I reflect back to my dancing days with my mom. And she's such a wonderful, charismatic teacher. And so many of the isms that I have in class have derived from her. So I think that mainly it's my mom. She's a wonderful teacher and has motivated many lives. Has quite a few people on Broadway, and I just think of her often when I'm teaching.
I love that. Was you sort of answered this, but was there a moment when you thought, once you started being like, this is it, I'm all in?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I think that the moment that I left the dance company and I had a meeting with the directors of Exhale, and I completely committed myself to becoming a part of this whole like movement.
Excellent.
Yeah.
I love asking people this question. What's your favorite healthy food?
Oh my gosh, my favorite healthy food is chicken.
Can't argue there. Very clear. What's your favorite? And I always say in quotes because I think it's all very relative. What's your favorite unhealthy food? The one you can't give up or won't?
Cheeseburger, French fries. Hands down, cheeseburger, French fries. Maybe like with an English muffin and Swiss cheese with some raw onion, lots of mayonnaise, ketchup for the fries, Dijon for the fries, and the burger as well.
There you go. Everyone always is very clear, knows immediately what that is. No one's ever been like, I don't know. What wellness practice has been the most consistent in your life over the years?
Oh gosh. I love working my body towards a goal. So I was a gymnast. I was a dancer. And so the wellness the fitness that I do sort of keeps me in that vein of like, I'm very goal oriented. So anything that gets me there, HIIT, a little bit of dancing, still gymnastics. I am currently trying to find a place to go and fight again. I used to go to Krav Maga, so I'm looking for that again.
Wow.
And I think that will round out my wellness fitness participation.
Is there at the other end of it a wellness modality that no judgment attached to it, but that you've tried and felt like this just isn't for me, or I don't get it, or I get it, but it's not for me?
Yeah, cardio dance. I think it's because of my classical training. It's very hard for me to step in those shoes and understand why people would enjoy it. Lots of jumping, not a lot of technique. I don't know. And that's just me. That's just my experience. Sure, there are wonderful teachers out there that do it really well. Just for me, that's why I'm trying to create this new dance modality, this dance thing.
Well, that makes sense because you have a vision for it. So the thing that is not it is not going to appeal.
Right. Definitely.
If you were stranded on a desert island and you could only bring one wellness tool or prop or something with you, what would you take?
Oh, I would take my weighted vest.
How often do you use that?
How often do I use it? I'm trying to use it every day. At this point, I've graduated, so I have 2 weighted vests now. One for just walking, and the other one now I'm starting to put some exercises with it, so push-ups and squats. I would take the heavy weighted vest.
Great.
Why not?
I love that. That is a question that people have very different answers to, and I'm always delighted and surprised.
Yeah, I mean, you could say like sound bowls and whatever, but I don't know, just weighted vest for me.
Love it. What's one wellness and in quote rule in quotes that you love breaking? Something everyone says you got to do it this way, but you just love breaking that rule.
Oh gosh, there are so many. I think for the most part, I really enjoy teaching barre, and I really love to mix it up. In most barre classes, there is a specific order. You start with the upper, you go down, start with abs, and you continue on. And I absolutely take this and I just throw all of those ingredients up, and I mix it up all the time. I think it's good for the brain. I think it's good for the body.
I love that. You actually have already answered this sort of, but I always ask people how they feel about wellness goals, and you seem to be motivated by goals, but you also seem to also take an intuitive approach moment to moment. So how do you blend those, or how do those two things coexist?
Well, I think it's very important. And from dancing, I know my body quite well. And so if you listen to what, the body is saying, intuitively, it'll direct you in the right direction, I think. And for me, motivation comes from a vision of the future and having goals or having something that I want to achieve always makes it a little easier in the process in the middle.
Mm. What's the best compliment you've ever received?
Oh gosh. I can't give you anything specific, but it's definitely around my teaching. It has to do with my connection with my students and how what we do changes their entire life world in many more ways than just physical. They have more confidence, they have more courage, they can last longer, they can participate in, activities that would otherwise not be for a certain age. So I think that that's sort of the subject matter of what I've heard over the years.
Mm. Is there a word or a phrase or some kind of slogan you hear yourself or you catch yourself saying a lot, or that you're famous for?
Yes. My most famous is it's yes or yes. It started when I was dancing, and you'd learn everything was quite fast at the very end of dance classes, especially as a professional. And the choreographers or the teacher in front of the room, they'd spew out choreography, and they'd ask quickly, "Do you have it? Yes or yes?" And you'd be like, "Okay, well, I guess I have it." And I think now it's sort of morphed and refined into the capabilities that we think we have are merely 50% of really where we can go. Mm. And I think sort of instilling it yes or yes in my teachings sort of promotes that there's this idea of you can do more than you think, and there is no, you can do so much more than you think you can.
Mm. It's very powerful. Yeah. If you weren't a wellness professional, can you imagine what you might be doing instead, or what other life you might want to be living?
Yes, I would love to be a covert operative. I would love to be in the CIA or the FBI. I'd love to be a spy. So definitely.
And why is that? I support you, but why?
Oh gosh. They are universal in many things. Their fitness, their intellect, their emotion, and they do really good. They do great for, for our country and for whomever they're working for. But I like it that they're not in the spotlight at all. They're behind the shadows, but they can be many, many dimensions and many characters and all the things that, our imagination, can create. So
I love that. Looking back, is there something about what would you tell your younger self about either in general or about the wellness journey ahead? What advice would you give?
I would tell her to be as courageous as possible and to keep striving for not necessarily just the physical fitness, but really the intention and the mindfulness and the heart-led wellness that's out there, and never give up trying to find that, and also don't stop believing in yourself. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, don't stop, don't fall back and wait for it, go get it.
What's the biggest misconception people have about wellness?
I think two things. One, it's just about fitness and your body and how good it looks. And I think the second sort of part of that is wellness is all about meditation and and eating well, and these like yoga and light stretching. So it's one or the other.
Mm-hmm.
And I think what's so great about VWell and everything is the fact that this is like the hub for all of it. It encompasses all of the wellness that is so important. All of it is important.
Mm-hmm. And that's our vision. That's our vision. Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the biggest shift you've seen in the wellness world, or where do you see things heading?
I think that there is more of an acceptance to the second example that I was sort of explaining with regard to wellness. I think that there is this societal sort of waking up to taking care of body, mind, spirit in a way that has never been before. The notion of this taking a mental health day, let's say, or putting yourself first. I think it's developing this sense of wellness and well-being. Ultimately, obviously quite important, but also really nice because I think what it's doing is it's also softening the barriers between people, like person to person. This notion of taking care is becoming of oneself is actually sort of permeating out. So I love that about it. Yeah. Those are my thoughts.
What's the impact that you want to have your work on other people? What do you want that to be? What gets you out of bed in the morning to do what you do? My clients range in age from 20s to 80, 80s. And I just want them to realize that they have more than what they think they do. And I end class sometimes saying my prayer, my wish for you is that my class, this hour that you just had, is the hardest thing that you do today. Everything else after this should be easy. And I've seen over the years these clients that I've taught them through life storms. I mean, cancer, death, and wonderful things, marriage, pregnancies. So it runs the whole gamut of inspiration and motivation. But that's it. Just letting them know, making them realize that they have more than they think they do. Mm-hmm. And then my last question is, what drew you to VWell? You're one of the people I called up right away, since I know your work, I've taken your class and all of that, but you responded immediately to become one of our founding experts. So what is it about what we're doing and that you're doing that seems like it's a good fit?
First of all, I love you absolutely to death, and I would follow you to the ends of the earth because I think you're an amazing human being. That said, VWell, like I've touched on before, I think it's this hub of wellness of all sorts that people need. And I think that I could sort of satisfy a small component of this physical challenge and mental sort of stamina and challenge that is needed in the wellness world. And I think I would, go really well with coupled really well with a meditation afterwards or a stretch. But I think it's what's needed. And I love the fact that it is 24-hour on demand. You can get it whenever you want it. I love the freedom that it gives me with regard to my scheduling and what, I can offer. So it's a win-win for all of us.
Well, we are delighted to have you. Thank you so much, everyone listening. Again, it's Bergen Wheeler. You can find her on the app. We're so glad to have you be part of this whole adventure.
I am thrilled and honored. Thank you, Edward.
Thanks for joining us on the VWell Podcast. If you enjoyed this conversation, please share it, subscribe, and stay connected at VWellNow.com. See you next time.